I'm Paul Van Squike, your Taekwondo guide, and this is Topic Tuesday on Tuesday. Welcome. If you're new around here, the concept is simple. People go down in the comments. They leave me a question, and I discuss it. If you'd like to participate, just go down in the comments, type away, and I'll cover it on next week's edition of Topic Tuesday. It's all about Taekwondo. Let's get started with this week's topic. The first topic comes from Team McDoom, who writes, Have you watched Kombat Taekwondo? And if so, what are your thoughts? If you go through some of the past Topic Tuesday episodes, there's one where I go through Kombat Taekwondo in great depth. But in a nutshell, I don't see the purpose of it. It seems to me like they're using kickboxing rules. So to me, if you want to do something like that, you can just do kickboxing. What makes Taekwondo unique is its rule set, and its rule set is appealing to a lot of people, which is why it's a popular combat sport. And I don't think that should be tampered with too much. Again, there are many other less restrictive fighting formats out there you can already do. So that's my take on it. But if you want more, you can watch that earlier episode of Topic Tuesday all about Kombat Taekwondo. From Michael BL5XH. Hi. Thanks for the video. I was wondering if you had some advice. See, I've taken over the school of my former master due to health reasons, and because of which is now out of the picture. I'm a first-degree black belt, but have been for a long time. After COVID, I was actually gearing up to obtain my second-degree black belt, but never got around to it. Now that I've taken over, there are two things weighing heavily on me. One, imposter syndrome. Despite knowing everything, being able to teach it, and having a lot of experience, I still feel like I'm pretending to be something I'm not. The idea of who am I as a first-degree black belt to stand in front of the class and teach. Two, my own growth. I have a full-time job and teach in the evenings. However, after teaching the kids class and adult class 3 hours, I'm very tired. And when I do have the energy, I can only train by myself and train outside of classes, but more focused on stamina and strength and flexibility. In other words, it's difficult for me to train for my next dan, especially without guidance. The only thing I can do and can teach is the black belt requirements. Are there things I could do, or am I fighting a losing battle? Are dan ranks important to remove my imposter syndrome? Oh, some good questions in there. First of all, if you know the stuff, that's more important than what your belt says you are. Honestly, if you are charismatic and you run a good class and you're actually knowledgeable, most people don't care that much what your rank is. The only point you're going to run into trouble, like you were saying, is if you want to start testing people to higher ranks, which some people care about, so that could be a problem eventually down the road. I'll have you know, I started my Taekwondo school when I only had a second dan black belt, and guess what? Almost everybody I worked with came in as a white belt, so I had plenty to teach them. And then I continued to learn throughout the years, and tested for 6th dan actually back in December. So I continued to go up in rank. During that time, I wasn't able, like you're talking about, to attend many Taekwondo classes. So how did I practice? Well, used a lot of my own training, just reading through the books, watching the videos, attending seminars. Attend seminars whenever you can. That's really vital for learning. But if you have a good head on your shoulders, you can learn a lot of this stuff once your foundation has been established without going to like a regimented class routine like you had been doing. I think I have learned more in the time that I wasn't taking classes than when I was, but of course it was important to establish that foundation first. Definitely if you I don't have a lot of these videos up, but if I look at videos of where I was when I started my school versus where I got to, a lot of improvement just through my own refinements. Frankly, when you hit the black belt levels, that's a lot of what it is making your own refinements. And again, you do need outside eyes once in a while, and that's where the seminars come in. And that's where the, you know, if you can hire an instructor to do a private lesson for you here and there, that can be helpful. When it comes to the feeling tired, yeah, that's a tough one. You're already working a full-time job, doing 3 hours of classes. How long are the classes? Could be that kid's class is longer than it needs to be. I don't think a kid's class needs to be an hour and a half if they're both an hour and a half long. You know, you could shorten the adult class too, depending on what needs to happen. You could also share your teaching responsibility with someone else. But yeah, exhaustion is something you definitely got to monitor. If you're going at a pace that you're feeling overwhelmed by, there's no way you're going to keep that up long term. Eventually you will crack. So you're going to either have to reduce the class time or find someone to help you. You know, another thing I would mention is that at a certain point I realized that having class assistants was critical to providing quality classes and not absolutely exhausting myself. I used to do everything and I would get a stomach ache every night from just the stress of trying to manage everybody and get everything everybody needed to them. And gosh, maybe 6-7 years ago now, something like that, I realized that having a class assistant was valuable. And now I have 2 class assistants in every class so that things can operate smoothly and so that I don't just completely grind myself down. I prefer operating with more shorter classes so that I can fit more flexible times into the day that people can choose from and split up the numbers a lot more easily. But that's just my personal approach. And this is my full-time profession, so it's a little different situation from what you're talking about. If there's anything I missed in here. You know, the big thing was about that imposter syndrome. And again, I want to assure you that if you are doing a good job, no one will care. And I would also mention that we all feel like imposters. There are always going to be martial artists who are greater than you, you know, unless you've hit the very top levels of something. If you're an Olympic gold medalist or a Pumse world champion, you probably don't feel like an imposter anymore. But if you're like most people, there's a long ascension ahead of you that you can continue to climb up in terms of competency in the martial arts. So we all feel like imposters. You just got to get out there and teach, because the truth is there's a lot people can learn from you most of the time. From Stay Hey Yeah. I started Taekwondo last year, but I'm extremely overweight and have a lot of difficulties with the sidekick technique. Is there any advice on how to get that right? You know, these things are really difficult without seeing your actual technique performed. So, you know, you mentioned being overweight, and you know, I'm wondering if you bring that up because it's something you want to solve. So I'm going to address it like that is the case, although that might not be why you brought it up, so forgive me if that is not why you mentioned this. But if you're looking to lose weight, great that you're in Taekwondo, fantastic, keep that up. Of course, diet is going to be of importance, and that is not my area of expertise, but I would look at options there. But then the thing that I would mention is that one of the most underrated exercises is going for a walk. I think if you're coming into Taekwondo twice a week, 3 times a week like most people, that is going to help. Hats off to you, that's awesome. But if weight loss is your goal, I would really try to, on the days that you're not coming in, go for a 30-minute to 1-hour walk. That's hugely advantageous, and it's low impact. It's really what we're designed to do And I think that's a great way to strengthen the body and help manage weight that might be excessive. So if you're looking to manage that, walking is highly underrated. So then in terms of getting the sidekick right, check out my how-to playlist, and there's a video about mastering the Taekwondo sidekick. Check that out. I have most of the problems that I see people run into addressed in that video. So take a look at that. That will likely help guide you as to how to do that sidekick. Okay, from Daryl. Thanks for an in-depth response and welcome back. As this week is the airing of the closing series of Cobra Kai, would you like to mention any highlights you most enjoyed from the series or some life lessons from Miyagi-Do? Past Karate Kid movies favorites or any Tang Soo Do moments hidden in its context you most enjoyed. Any Taekwondo relations to Cobra Kai we should be proud of. All right, this is the spoiler-filled part of the Topic Tuesday episode because I have, in fact, finished the Cobra Kai series, and I'm going to talk about it as though you have also finished it. And if you care, you should stop listening right now if you haven't watched that show fully yet. Okay. I would like to point out that many years ago, probably in 2019, something like that, I was enough of a loser to be on a Cobra Kai podcast. I did not produce the podcast. It is no longer obtainable to the public. But I was on it for all of its episodes. And we were making predictions for season 2, season 3, something like that. And I predicted the appearance of a CGI Miyagi ghost. And over again, I was let down. But I felt somewhere in my soul that yes, there would in fact be a Miyagi ghost in the Cobra Kai series who was computer generated. And I was not let down. I was not let down. I was jumping out of my seat when that CGI Miyagi ghost came in, and my wife was laughing and rolling her eyes because she too was enough of a loser to be on that podcast. Nobody believed me. Nobody believed me. No, I don't know if that's the case. That was a very satisfying moment for me, Miyagi ghost. But that's not what you asked about. You asked about any highlights you enjoyed most from the series, some life lessons from Miyagi-Do. Well, I did enjoy that Miyagi-Do did not advance to the finals and they did not win the competition because that wasn't the important emphasis of Miyagi-Do, and I think that's true to the spirit of Miyagi-Do, and it's true to the spirit of many traditional martial arts schools. So that was kind of neat to see in a TV series. The fact that they can practice to improve their lives, and they don't necessarily have to be champions every time to be successful martial artists. Of course, there's the lessons about balance and so forth. Tang Soo Do moments. Yeah, you see the different forms crop up. They really have a hodgepodge of stuff inside of their practice. Like you'll see all kinds of forms fall into the Miyagi-Do category. And I like the Nahanchi forms, which come out of Tang Soo Do, and I saw some Nahanchi in the Miyagi-Do kata practice in that final season there, and I got kind of excited about that. But yeah, you see a lot of that stuff, crossovers. Taekwondo relations to Cobra Kai we should be proud of. I heard that I can't remember the character's name. I think it's Zara, the Spanish female competitor that's always going on her phone on social media. I think, if I remember right, she has like a 4th degree black belt in Taekwondo, so she's a real Taekwondo master. But don't know too much. Obviously, there's a lot of Taekwondo within the choreography, and a lot of Taekwondo crosses over with karate, so and there's enough cross-pollination that has occurred that you're going to see Taekwondo in most choreographed fight scenes these days. Oh, I think that's about it. You know, nothing's jumping to mind that really stood out for me other than the Miyagi ghost that I so adored. And, well, adored might not be the right word, but was just gratified. I was gratified to see it. It wrapped up nicely. You know, a lot of series don't actually wrap up, so it's nice to see like every thread get tied. That sometimes doesn't happen in modern television. It's like they're throwing darts at a board and then just go, okay, let's end it. And there's all these things left unanswered. Every plot that they started, I think they wrapped it up, so that was good to see. You know, I really thought it would be poetic. It would have rhymed in a sort of George Lucas way if Johnny had won his match with a crane kick. Would have been tacky, sure. But you know what? That whole show is full of cheese, okay? So couldn't they have just done the thing we all wanted them to do and had Johnny crane kick at the end? I mean, they alluded to it, but it didn't happen. We would have all been very satisfied with that, even though it would be incredibly cheesy. But it was kind of fun to see the character arcs complete, like Johnny realizing that he can incorporate both elements into his fighting style, to see Kreese apologize for being too hard and sort of patch the hole in Johnny's life that he had created. Which, you know, why do they always have to kill the character once they've redeemed themselves? Every time they have to kill him. Yeah, that's about all I have to say. That's about all I have to say about that. So, you know, you guys know what to do. If you want to contribute to Topic Tuesday, if you want to be a creative force in this world, you get yourself down into those comments, you type away, and you leave the next topic for next week. Maybe your topic will be the one that gets 1 million views. Who knows? Who knows? Could be you. But you know what? Like always, whether you leave a comment or not, I am grateful for your participation in this grand experiment known as Topic Tuesday. Until next time, enjoy your training.